I have a bad feeling about this.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
I've got a bad feeling about it.
Quiet.
What?
I have a very bad feeling about this.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Hi, my name is Rachel, and today I'm going to recommend you books that I think you will like if you are a fan of Star Wars. Now, I'm not just talking about the original trilogy, I'm talking about like different parts of Star Wars as a whole, like bits and pieces of things that you might have picked up and liked. So the first I'm going to recommend is Defy the Stars by Claudia Gray. And Claudia Gray has actually written Star Wars books before, like extra canon. I don't think they're canon. I don't know. What is it called when it's like outside of the movie? Yeah. Extended universe. Wow, I'm doing a really good job so far. This book is about Noemi, a soldier from the planet Genesis, which is where a bunch of people from Earth moved when Earth, I think, became too populated. It's been a while since I read it. Now, Earth and Genesis are in an interplanetary war against each other. Noemi is a soldier from Genesis, and our other main character, Abel, is a mech, an android, and he has been stuck on a ship for a while, a few decades, I think. They're technically enemies, but they end up being forced to work together, and then they find out some stuff, and there's also some romance, and it's such a great story. So if you're a fan of the elements in Star Wars, such as C-3PO, high-stakes spaceship battles, intergalactic war, traveling around to different planets and seeing like the different climates and the different people that live there and kind of picking up strays to do your whole adventure with and join your crew, then you might like this. It's 3 books in it. It's a trilogy, and I have read books 1 and 2, and they are super enjoyable, very fun, and give me a lot of Star Wars vibes. The next one I'm going to recommend is The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. This is also a sci-fi trilogy. Our main character is Nemesis. She is a Diabolic, which means she is like a genetically engineered bodyguard, and she is bought by this family to be the protector for their daughter Sidonia. So she grows up alongside Sidonia as Sidonia's bodyguard. Sidonia's father is revealed to be part of a rebellion, and as punishment, the Emperor says that Sidonia has to be sent as sort of like a prisoner of war kind of thing to the intergalactic court. So instead, Nemesis goes in her place to protect Sidonia, which is like all Nemesis is about. That's like her only personality trait until she goes and she starts to get her own personality at the intergalactic court, away from everything she's ever known, away from Sidonia. And Nemesis is such a fantastic character, such a badass, truly one of the best characters that I've ever come across in fiction. If you're a fan of Star Wars political intrigue, if you're a fan of the use of decoys like Padme in episode 1, and if you are specifically a fan of that scene in episode 2 where Padme is in the battle arena, you might like this. It has that sort of a little bit. Nemesis is like that, except times 1,000.
Just relax, concentrate.
What about Padme?
She seems to be on top of things.
Jump!
The next one I'm going to recommend is not a sci-fi series. It is The Ember and the Ashes by Saba Tahir, and this is a Rome-inspired fantasy series. Our main character, Laia, lives with her brother and her grandparents. Her parents are dead, and her brother, one day the Empire comes into her house and arrests her brother for treason. In desperation, she agrees to work with the rebellion. They say that they will rescue her brother if she goes undercover to work for the Empire's military academy. There she meets Elias, our other main character, who is a soldier of the academy, but he doesn't really want to be there. He wants to be free. My husband, who is actually reading this right now, pointed out to me that there is a lot of parallels between Star Wars and Ember. In fact, I feel kind of stupid for not having seen it before. So first, there's the obvious that there is an empire and a rebellion. There's Laia, who is the unlikely hero like Luke, who has grown up with the loss of both parents, and she joins the rebellion, and she could be the key to everything. There's Elias, who is basically Finn, the guy who starts to question, maybe I'm on the wrong side. And there's the Commandant, who's in charge of Elias, who gives off major Captain Phasma vibes. There's a legion of masked people who work for the Empire, similar to stormtroopers. And I don't want to give anything away about the villain situation, but the villain situation in this book gives off major rule of two, master and apprentice vibes. It's great. It's some of the best villainry in YA fantasy, to be honest. The last one, and I want to do this again, but I only did 4 this time around. The last one I'm going to recommend is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. Our main character is Spensa. Spensa's kind of an outcast, and she really wants to be a pilot, but because her dad was a pilot and he deserted, she's seen as an outcast, and she lives on this planet that is constantly under attack by aliens. Then she finds a ship, and this ship has like a personality, and she ends up joining the flight league, and there's just so much like resistance vibes in this, and it's very much in the vein of like battle scenes with the space. It's some of the best writing of like space battle scenes that I've ever come across in fiction, outside of like reading the actual Star Wars books. Spensa has such a great character arc, very much similar to how Luke starts off like a whiny little baby. Spensa starts off like kind of hard to deal with, but then becomes super cool later on. And I so appreciate both her and her spaceship that she ends up finding and works to get working again, Mbot. Their relationship is so fantastic. It gives off sort of like R2-D2 vibes, but way better, because Mbot actually talks under whereas like R2-D2 just beeps and boops, right? And Mbot actually flies, and it's so fun. So if you have not read it yet, I highly recommend it. So those are all of my recommendations for if you like Star Wars, read these books. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these, or if you recommend any similar to Star Wars books. I sometimes like to read the Star Wars books, but I really have to be in a very specific mood to read them, because I'd rather just watch Clone Wars, like the animated show, or just watch the movies themselves, but I really have to be in the mood specifically to read Star Wars books. I don't know why. I have read too The Queens by E.K. Johnston. I can't think of it right now. I just read it recently. And Death Troopers, the one about zombies, stormtroopers, which was so silly. Those were fun. I really have to be in the mood for them. I actually have a couple Star Wars books on my shelves. The Rule of Two is on my shelf, but I haven't gotten to them yet. I don't know why it is that things that are books that are sci-fi that are not Star Wars appeal to me more than reading actual Star Wars books too. I can't explain it. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to support my channel, you can do so by donating down below. I have a Ko-fi account, and I will link it in the description box below. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.